this a shoe review or NASCAR? Stay tuned. Good morning, YouTube. What's up, everybody? I hope you're safe and healthy and happy and doing okay. This shoe is probably my most anticipated shoe of 2021 because I loved the first version so damn much. I mean, it was just the best shoe I've ever worn, and I never wanted to take it off my foot. Like what I say in my full review, get it? Yeah. And that shoe was a Saucony Endorphin Speed 1. Really, there were very few things that I thought could have made this shoe better. I mean, the stability was one thing, and the fact that I didn't think it was a super versatile shoe. I didn't think it was good for just daily, easier mileage. So I was wondering if those things would be different in the Speed 2. And here it is, the Speed 2, in a really bizarre checkered pattern that I personally don't love at all. But you know what they say, never judge a book by its cover. So we're not going to do that here. We're going to judge the shoe by the way it feels, not by its colorway, and really focus on if they improve the shoe over the one. Some of us might not even think that could have been possible. If it's basically the same, or if it's just not as good. And also if you should just buy a discounted one, the Speed 1, or you should hang on and wait for this shoe, which comes out June 15th. Couple days, actually. So let's not waste any more time. Let's NASCAR our way into the running footage. Let's go.
I go anywhere, anywhere with you, 'cause you fill my mind, or you fill my mind. We could build a dream, start up something new. Let the old be dead, let the shadows leave my head. When the world is on your shoulders and you feel like falling over, just come a little closer. I'll be there for you, I'll be there for you. 'Cause when we are together, I know you feel the tension. Just let me in your head so I can be there for you, there for you. The night is young, won't you sing for me? Won't you sing for me? Till we fall asleep. The night is young, won't you sing for me? Won't you sing for me? Till we fall asleep. The night is young, won't you sing for me? Won't you sing for me? Till we fall asleep. The night is young, won't you sing for me? Won't you sing for me? We do it on repeat.
Before we get started today, I do want to let you know that this shoe was sent to me by Saucony and Running Warehouse. However, neither company is going to see this video before you. They're not telling me anything to say, and all of my opinions are always my own. The Saucony Endorphin Speed 2 is 7 ounces for a women's size 8, but for my size 10.5 women's, this shoe comes in at just under 8.1 ounces. Not too bad, although it did gain some weight from the one. Not a ton of weight, but there is a little bit of weight gain here. Really, truly not a deal breaker. I mean, most people are not gonna feel this at all, but something that I had to point out. We have an 8mm offset here with 35.5 millimeters of stack in the heel and 27.5 in the forefoot. And for me, the Saucony Endorphin Speed 2 is true to size. Saucony has changed the upper up ever so slightly for the Speed 2. Here we're using an engineered mono mesh upper that Saucony says is more breathable than its predecessor. If we move to the midfoot of the shoe, you'll see that Saucony logo acting as an overlay, but under that are some translucent overlays. You can barely see them, but they do help to keep that midfoot structured and your foot in place. And moving to the back, we have an updated heel counter that is supposed to give the runner a snugger heel fit. I certainly think it is a bit more structured and help to keep my ankle in place. Really, the uppers between the 1 and the 2 are pretty similar. I'll put them side by side so you can see the differences here, but I do think that Saucony is right. This new material that they're using in the 2 is more breathable than the 1. It has been absolutely sweltering hot in New York, like 90 degrees hot. And while I didn't necessarily feel any air passing through because there was no air to pass through, it was that hot out, I didn't feel like my foot was cooking or really sweating too much because of how hot the upper was. It was just sweating because it was hot. Today was a slightly breezier, cooler day, and I certainly felt air passing through that, so no problems with the breathability here. As far as the fit of the upper goes, I think we're doing a pretty good job here. I have enough room in the toe box. And Saucony is also using their form fit technology. They used it in the one as well, so it just kind of conforms to your foot a little bit better. It gives you a more snug fit without being too snug and abrasive. If I had to pick between the fits of both of these shoes, I'd honestly say that I kind of like the way the one feels on foot better if I put them side by side. But that might be just because I've had the shoe for so long that it's basically molded to my foot at this point. But however, they are very, very similar, and I don't think anybody is going to have a problem here that enjoyed this upper as well. Saucony says they put new laces in the Endorphin Speed 2 that are anti-slip, which is pretty nice. Honestly, really looking at the two of them side by side, I don't see a major difference. They look pretty similar again. But I will say that I think these are longer. Something that I do find kind of odd here though is Saucony's new incorporation of suede into this upper. We have like a suede pull tab thing on the tongue, and we have a suede heel counter type thing and piece of suede pull tab. I've never asked for suede or never desired suede on my running shoes. I don't really know why we needed this. Sure, yeah, the one doesn't have a pull tab and now it kind of has this. But I mean, I would rather just a traditional pull tab and get rid of this suede piece here. One cool thing though is that Saucony is using some recycled materials here, which I don't think they used in the one. So anytime a company wants to do that, big thumbs up. And overall, I think this upper is pretty good. I didn't have any issues with hot spots, blisters, or irritation. And it's not a huge departure from the one's upper. Okay, on to the midsole, which is what makes the Speed so great. Here in the Saucony Endorphin Speed 2, we're getting that same PWRRUN PB foam, an exceptional foam from Saucony from 2020. Incredibly bouncy, springy, soft, lots of energy returned. And with that foam, you're also getting a nylon plate here. Again, not carbon. This is the nylon plated shoe. And the speed roll technology, which is basically a technology that propels you forward so that you can run faster and use less effort doing so. On my first run in this shoe, I thought that maybe it was a little bit firmer than the previous version. However, with a couple more runs in, I'm here to say that I really think that these two shoes feel pretty much identical underfoot, which honestly is an amazing thing for the ride of this shoe, because what everybody loved so much about it wasn't the upper, wasn't the outsole, it was the midsole. Even on days where your legs aren't feeling as well, it can pick you up and just lift you back into your next stride, and next thing you know, you're going much faster than you feel like you're going or should be going. I still wouldn't take this shoe on any kind of like daily mileage day where you're trying to go easy or super moderate pace, because I feel like no matter what you really try to do in this shoe, it's hard to go slower. Could somebody do it? Yeah, sure. Does it feel terrible? No, it doesn't feel terrible, but it doesn't feel like you're getting that same juice out of it that you do at those up-tempo speeds. Do I think you can grab the shoe more than you grab your carbon-plated shoes? Absolutely, hands down. You just might want a more standard daily trainer to accompany this shoe in your rotation if you can. But again, that's really not a bad thing. This shoe, to me personally, and the one while we're at it, are the best shoes in their class at what they do. There's never been a shoe, to me, that feels better than these. I have absolutely no factual basis for this claim, but I think that this shoe feels a little bit more stable. Again, no one has told me that it's more stable or changed in any way, shape, or form that would create more stability except for the heel counter. But something about it maybe just feels a bit more stable to me. If you couldn't tell, I'm a fangirl for this midsole, and it has not changed for the two. I love it. I think it's one of the best feeling midsoles I've ever felt. And maybe, who knows, maybe this is a Chicago Marathon shoe. I said that about the one, maybe it'll be the two. I don't know. We'll see. If we turn the Speed 2 over, you'll see that they're using XT900 rubber, which is exactly what they used in the first version. And it has the exact same placement. Bringing over the first version, the shoe has almost 100 miles in it, And it's gonna be kind of hard to see it maybe, but it does have a little bit of wear. Honestly, it doesn't feel too bad at all though underfoot. The traction on roads and surfaces really doesn't suffer too much. When I was reviewing the Speed 1, I actually got caught in like a literal monsoon in the shoe, and I thought this rubber was gonna do really poorly on the roads, and it didn't. It actually held up fine for me, so I think that we're gonna have no problems here. The Saucony Endorphin Speed will be available on June 15th for $160, and on Running Warehouse it'll be $159.95. The same exact price as the first version, but then that brings the question, should you pay full price for the second version of the shoe, or should you just buy a discounted pair of the ones? I'm gonna say here honestly that if this is the only colorway available, don't buy it. No, I'm just kidding. Honestly, I really think that these shoes are so similar that if you want to save a little bit of money, you're not going to be really missing a ton if you want to get a discounted one. And in fact, maybe this is what I would lean towards. The one discounted for any amount of money is going to be totally a steal, 100%. And while this shoe is fantastic and will be great full price, I just think, you know, they're not different enough to really justify spending the extra money for some people. When these are discounted and when these become available on runningwarehouse.com, I will put links in the description of this video so you can grab your pair of either shoe. Keep in mind, these will be affiliate links with Running Warehouse. However, keep in mind these are affiliate links with Running Warehouse. However, that doesn't mean much for you. It just helps out my channel so I can tell you whether you should pick up the older version or the newer version of potentially the best shoes I've ever tried. In conclusion, I love the Speed 2. I think it's phenomenal, and it's gonna stay at the top of my list of shoes that I love. I do think that I'm gonna get a lot of use out of this shoe. I already have, and I don't know, it might again be a competitor for a Chicago Marathon shoe, which I've said for many shoes recently. So we're having a good time in 2021 with shoe releases, but we're having a hard time deciding which one will be the right one for me. Well, that concludes my first run impressions of the Saucony Endorphin Speed 2. If you enjoyed this video, please like it down below and subscribe. And when you're done with all that, hit that notifications bell to find out every time I upload a new video. I'm just so confused how you go from this beauty to this. I'm lost here. I have another video for you next week, but in the meantime, get out there, get on the grind, and don't forget to run, don't forget to run like heller. See you next time. Cue Ruby's barking. It's a chocolate lab passing the house. She wants to play with it. All right, Ruby. Shh. I see him. Thank you. No. Let's relax.